This is a long post, but I did my best to narrate it like a story. I, 30 male, am a hypersensitive person and I have been with my girlfriend, 31 female, for 7 years. We will celebrate our 8th anniversary together in March. I have always considered love as a priority in life. The need for a partner with whom I share everything and for whom I can give unconditional love and have a perfect and romantic relationship came early. I remember my first love at the age of 4. I actually found her later and dated her for a few months when I was 18. Since then I have been continually falling in love with girls, hoping to find the perfect woman for me. I've known about 10 girls with whom I've had relationships of varying durations, from one night to 1 or 2 years. My first 2 relationships at 16 and 18 broke my teenage heart. For the other relationships, I either didn't fall in love or I fell in love too much. And then, tired of relationships where I got too attached, I went looking for a girl to develop a relationship with, a love where I can keep control but still feel love and a desire to build something with her. That's the moment where I met my current girlfriend. I was 23. She was quite a curious animal, a girl like no other. Both feminine and boyish. She was a bit weird like me and I felt great with her, as I have never felt with anyone. We had a lot in common and were enjoying the same kind of hobbies. In bed it was sometimes a bit disappointing, sometimes totally crazy. For example, she wasn't very good at oral sex compared to my previous experiences, but we tried her artist's door. I felt peaceful and fulfilled with joy, especially considering my increased sensibility, which usually makes me really anxious. We lived together for a year in the same city as students. Then I had to move 900 km away from her home for an internship in Brussels. We were living in south of France. This was very difficult because I didn't want to leave her after years of seeking the one. The next months, she would come to see me over the weekends, and then I would come to see her. It was one of the happiest moments of my life. During the week I would go out with my friends in Brussels, and at the weekend she was visiting me and we spent simple but great moments as a couple. In bed, after weeks of not seeing each other, this was extremely productive. After a year of this life, she would tell me that I was the man of her life. She also said I love you too often and blamed me for not saying it enough. From then on, I started to question my love for her. Did I love her enough? Compared to my first loves, I didn't love her passionately. But I discovered with her, in another way of love, mixing respect, tenderness and the desire to make her happy. One day she told me that she was suffering from physical distance and wanted to move in with me. We had been together for 3 years. At first I was very afraid, but then I accepted, saying to myself, there is nothing to lose and you are happy with her. But never forget that you are also happy alone. Besides, the weekends and the trips back and forth were also starting to weigh on me because I didn't really have time for myself. So we moved together. As we were settling in together, she informed me that she was expecting us to have a child within the year. I was really scared, and I got angry. As we were building our next step, she was building her own reality without consulting me. I made it clear to her that I would not have a child under these conditions and until I felt ready. Then life together began. It was great for the first few months. Sleeping together even on Sunday nights, cooking for her, living the daily little things of life but with her, going out to the bar together, making friends together, etc. But living with your other half also changes the relation. Being too much together without free time to rest alone, not feeling listened or considered enough when you ask for something, keeping your sex life interesting. We've never had a violent argument, but I've accumulated a lot of frustration after 2 years living together. At this point, on the verge of major commitments, wedding, baby, buy a flat, I began to wonder if she was the right woman for me. At the time, I was working in a company where I met a lot of people, where I was in contact with a lot of beautiful girls who had just arrived in town, all well dressed, whereas I only saw my girlfriend in her pajamas. I couldn't hold back my frustration any longer and told her that I had doubts about our relationship. That I had felt desire for other girls. That I wanted to discover other bodies and experience new things. But that I didn't want to lose her and that I still had feelings for her. That was our first crisis. We kind of broke up at this point. But we both felt that we couldn't live without each other. We spoke then a lot, and to overcome it. But this fight left scars on our relation. My sex curiosity became a taboo and downlifted her libido. I felt her less involved in our relationship. She often spoke to get back in south of France. It lasted a year and a half and it raised my doubts a lot. During this time, I was constantly asking myself what to do with her. 2 years later, after our first crisis, the second occurred. My doubts were too strong. I felt dishonest staying with her when I wasn't sure I would have a child at 35. I was afraid of ruining her life because her dream is to have a child. She keeps telling me that the later we wait, the least chances we have to have 1, or 2, or 3. It gets me so anxious. I don't want to feel forced to have a baby, but I love her and I would be open to get a baby with her. But I need a few things to be fixed in our life first. I did not feel sexually fulfilled. I was hungry to discover new practices, other bodies. But let me be clear, I only wanted to discover these bodies with her. Besides that, her libido was affected by my doubts and she considered these desires as a turn-off to our relationship. I started to find some of her physical imperfections annoying. I believe that a person in love should always find his or her wife beautiful in all or most circumstances. I always felt the person who slowed down the couple. The couple was sending me a bad image of myself. So I didn't feel fulfilled on a personal level. I want to be the one who gives energy to our couple. Now I don't know what to do. We spoke hours and hours, explained our respective positions. She is ready to make efforts for me, but she wants to get pregnant in 2023 at the latest. For my part, I feel the need to take some distance and find out what I want, and find myself again because I have conceded a lot in this relationship to the point of neglecting myself. I might want to have a child with her, but I need to feel that this is also coming from me. She's a good girl and I love her. But I'm afraid I won't respect myself if I don't follow my needs. It's a great relationship full of respect and tenderness. But what if I found someone more suited to me elsewhere? Or what if she was the woman of my life, but because of my hypersensitivity, I ask too much and doubt too much? Will I have the same problems with all my relations? I am totally lost. I hope you are not offended by what I have to say, and I am sorry, but you shouldn't be in a relationship at all, let alone have a baby with anyone, and that's okay. You seem like a free spirit type that loves travel, and excitement, and adventure, and chasing women. Nothing wrong with that. Just gotta ask yourself, what the hell am I doing? Absolutely not offended. Thank you so much for taking time to give me your opinion. I acknowledge myself as a free spirit indeed. But I also feel that relationships are essential to me. At least as long as they give me the space for this freedom and fulfillment. My current relationship makes me guilty for this will of freedom. Thank you for recalling me that there is nothing wrong to be myself with my needs. Well, maybe keep relationships at a minimum, or at a certain time length, maybe. I'm not a free spirit, so I don't have a lot of insight on how to keep relationships as a free spirit, lol, but beware. I met a free spirit type when I visited my grandma in a nursing home. He loved travel and adventure and everything. I talked to him for a bit and he had it all. Boats, cars, few properties, and a lot of friends around the world. And then I asked him how old he was and he told me he was 77, and he did not look it at all. I would have guessed 50. And then I asked him if his kids come see him cause I assumed he wasn't alone here. And he told me he never married or had kids, and the light in his face went dark. I felt so sorry for him. The lifestyle you love may backfire. I just hope you know what you're doing. Good luck. If you're not ready for a child, please don't have one. If you think you have problems now, wait until you add a child to the mix. Thank you for your answer. My older sister just had a baby and I can see how tiring and stressing it is for her couple. But at the same time, I can't stop thinking it could be like taking a decision to strengthen my commitment to her. A child shouldn't be born to do a job. You want to strengthen your commitment, buy her an engagement ring. It will work out cheaper in the long run. Bonus, it can be returned if you decide this is not what you want. Don't have a baby with someone you aren't sure you want to spend the rest of your life with. Let her move on. Thank you for your answer. I hear a lot that it's impossible to be 100% sure that you want to spend the rest of your life with the person. In my case, I already have pictured it and it felt nice, even if everything isn't perfect. That's why it's so difficult to take a decision. You don't have the same goals in life, for me it's an incompatibility. Breakup is the only solution. Thank you for your answer. I'm still struggling to find out if our goals are that much incompatible. If we manage to find an agreement to get a baby later, I'm sure it will be what I want in the years to come. For now, it's the pressure I feel from my girlfriend to have a baby, which drives me nuts. It's a shame it has taken so long to get to this point. There's no way to know the future, but you should know yourself by now. If you honestly can't make a decision in the ordinary way yet, you probably never will. So if you think you can live with the decision, just flip a coin and end this indecision. Thank you for your answer. Yes, I'm a slow learner and I have some issues with taking decisions, mainly because of lack of confidence. I actually love the flip a coin method to take a decision. At least you know, if you are disappointed when you see the result, and then take the good choice. Don't have the kid. Take time to yourself. It can't be stated enough that children change everything. Maybe it'll be a good change, but it's also likely that if your heart isn't 1000% into it, that you'll regret it, resent it, and be miserable. It can be hard to potentially let go of a good thing, but relationships don't always end because of something terrible. Sometimes it's because the people want two different things, and clearly that's what is happening here. More so than the kid, you clearly have crap you need to work on and beliefs that are misguided. You're not always gonna love every inch of a person, and to think that you will find someone you think is gorgeous from their nose to their ankles is not realistic. Your libido and sexual desires don't match. You have some work you need to do on yourself, long before you are ready for fatherhood. Thank you very much for your detailed answer. Having time to myself is exactly what I need. I tried to explain to her. But she keeps saying that she will not be there when I come back, if I come back. Having resent and regret not to have taken this time for me while having a baby is my biggest fear. 8 years of relationship has changed me a lot and I don't know what makes me happy anymore. I want to find this balance. Of course I still love her and I wish I can find back the mindset that brought me here. I clearly want to work on my wrong beliefs to be more balanced myself. I want to take out of my head the perfection obsession as I am not perfect myself. If you take care of yourself, you will take better care of the others. I had some issues to tell her what I really want and need. But through each new talk, I managed to be clearer on this. We need to talk even more than now to see if we really are incompatible, even for sexual matters. And speaking about fatherhood, I wonder if we ever feel ready at some point in our life. What would be the required qualities to be a good father?